Today we got some big old legs. And the cool part is, I mean, we're not going to be doing like crazy movements like we did last time. So no like barbell squat and like, you know, the big movements, right? No big compound movements. But seems we're doing smaller movements. So like we're doing a dumbbell leg curl. So you grab it between your feet and then you pull up with your feet, or your hamstrings, I should say. And it's movements like that that make me realize, you know, like the little stuff, well, I've said this before too, the little stuff leads to the big stuff, right? It's the imbalances. Because if you can lift big, but if something little is off or too weak, you're never going to be able to push past that point in the big lift. So that little one needs to be strengthened so that way you can push past those big lifts. So you feel what I'm saying? So if your hip, like, what is it? If your hips are kind of like weak, you're like your hip flexors, then you know you can squat pretty big, but you're never going to get past a certain point without strengthening your hip flexors. Same thing with your glutes. If your glutes are kind of bad, then same thing. Whereas like with your shoulder, right? The most common one is the shoulder. So, you know, you're benching, shoulders bad, you're not going to be able to really bench now. You can get pretty heavy, but not so heavy that you're not going to be worried or straining that shoulder. So, the little things add up. I am rehoming my leopard gecko, and I'm pretty freaking bummed out about that. I like my leopard gecko. He's a cool dude. I got him at a expo some odd years ago, and he's been with me ever since. I think it was 2021 or 22, but no, it was 21. Yeah, it was 21. 5 years. Have homeboy for 5 years. So he's my little dude. So I'm kind of bummed out about that. But you know, some things you gotta leave behind. I'm not saying he's like an object, but moving across the nation, you know, I'd be worried about how he's doing, you know. So, and quite frankly, I think it'd just be better for him stress-wise, because reptiles get stressed out pretty easily. I think it'd be good for him just to stay here, you know, or you know, maybe 45 minutes away. So I think that'd be best. Even the drive home, when I first got him, it was like a 2.5 hour drive. He was panicking. So let alone freaking 3 days. So, but I'll plan to get something else over there. Maybe a snake. I've been wanting a snake for a while, so that'll be my excuse to get a snake. Life goes on, and on and on and on. But I guess we also need to address just my personal thoughts too. Just like I've been kind of falling back in love with training as of recently. You know, some days I definitely have my gripes with it. I'm not going through the motions. I'm definitely pushing myself, but it's just like some days more. I don't want to say more often, no, less often, but more often than I'd like it to be. I'm just kind of going through the motions, right? You know, just strain here, strain there. Okay, well, I improved a little bit on my lift. I'm excited about that, but whatever, right? So, I've been falling back in love with training, and I think that you know, the off season is where it is its hardest. You know, because there's no goal, there's no end in sight, right? For like what you're doing. When I mean end in sight, I'm talking about something, you know, like a show. You know, I have a show coming up. So, you know, if you're in prep, you know, then you have a date to look forward to. Whereas in the off season, if you take a season, you know, just to take a year or two just to grow, that's where it's hardest, right? Because there's no big date. There's no something to work towards. There's no big picture. that's where it can get pretty difficult. But so far this off season has been relatively good. You know, I'm gaining weight at a slow pace. We're still maintaining our abs. Like, the big one for me is like gaining weight and not gaining any new softness. That's the big thing. And getting strong. So that's been my biggest thing. But so far this off season has been relatively good. It's had its ups and downs, but so far it's been pretty positive. So far it has been a pretty positive upswing. I'm probably stronger than I've been in a while. So that's cool. Alright, gang, well, we're approaching the gym here, and I need to get myself into the zone for this big old leg day. Alright, gang, I'll see you here in a bit. I got 20 this next round. This will be, haven't done 20 reps in maybe ever. So we'll see how this goes. Come on, I can do this. I got 6 more. 6. One more. How many is it? Oh God. Oh, come on. Oh, okay. Come on. Come on. Okay. Oh my God. Come on. Okay.
Okay.